QuakeCon 2018, it really was the escape from my reality that I needed. It was something I really, really needed. Every year, since 2013, I've been going to QuakeCon, and leading up to it, every year I look forward to it a lot. But there was something about QuakeCon 2018 that was special. It had a different feeling than any other QuakeCon I've ever experienced. And that is why I was more excited to go this year than ever, because I had a feeling that 2018 was going to be probably one of the best QuakeCons I've ever attended. And after going to QuakeCon 2018, now that's over, I can say without any hesitation that it pretty much was one of the best experiences I've ever had at QuakeCon. And in this video, I want to let you guys know why. I want to let you guys know why I love QuakeCon in general so much, but also why QuakeCon 2018 in particular was such a fun experience and was such an emotional and fun journey for me. So on the first day of QuakeCon, my friend Ronnie and I both headed down to the Gaylord Texan Hotel, and we got there fairly early because I wanted to make sure we had plenty of time to get our wristbands and be ready to go in the exhibit hall before it opens. And we got there with plenty of time. By the time we got our wristbands and were checked in and everything, we had about 40 minutes to spare, which is pretty dang good. So since we had enough time to kill, we decided that we would check out the BYOC. For those of you who don't know, the BYOC stands for Bring Your Own Computer, and it's essentially the heart and the core of QuakeCon. It's a big room where people can pay about $75 for a seat, and they can bring their computer and their keyboard and all that stuff and just play games on a LAN connection. They can just play with their friends, play by themselves, show off their computers, whatever they want to do. And it's something I've never participated in myself because I don't really see the point of doing it if you don't have friends to do it with, and I haven't had friends to do it with. That being said, it's still fun to walk around and explore the place and just check out all the cool custom cases, the custom PCs in general, just seeing all the people playing their computers, seeing all the cool keyboards, just seeing people's setups. There's something really nice about that, and I really enjoy seeing the hard work and the effort and the dedication that some people put into these custom computers. And I think without a doubt my favorite custom computer that I saw while I was there is this one right here, this QuakeCon one. It immediately caught my eye, for one thing, because it has the QuakeCon logo in it, and that was really cool. But if you notice, almost the entire inside, including the backplate for the graphics card, is made out of wood, and that's really cool. You don't see wood in computer builds that often, at least I don't. So I thought this was a really cool computer. It's very sleek looking. The cable management is on point. It represents QuakeCon, of course, with the logo on the bottom there. I just think it's really, really cool, and you know, every year I just enjoy seeing computers like this. It's really, really fun. So after spending some time in the BYOC, we decided to head back to the expo hall because it was about 9:40 or so, and in 20 minutes the expo hall was about to open, and it's a good thing we went out there when we did because there was a fairly large crowd starting to form around the door. So we basically just waited by the door, waited for 10 o'clock to hit so we can all go in. 10 o'clock hit, we all, of course, bull rushed the door pretty much, and went into the expo hall, and at that point QuakeCon really, that's when it really began for me. And of course the very first thing I did was I went straight to the New Blood booth. For those of you that know me, I'm a huge fan, huge fan of the game Dusk, and I'm a huge fan of New Blood Interactive in general. And last year, the highlight for me, without a doubt, was being at their booth. Seeing David, who is the main guy behind Dusk, and Dave Oshry, who runs the whole company, and everything like that. It was a great experience to be at their booth and talk to them and just hang around them, honestly. So this year I was looking forward to it as well, just seeing them again and playing some Dusk Episode 3 and everything like that. And so yeah, I went straight to their booth. I said hi to everybody. It was really great to see everybody again. And immediately I sat down and played some Dusk Episode 3. And I'll talk about Dusk Episode 3 a little bit later on. I have some stuff to say about it. But in short, I like it a lot. It's very, very fun. But I only had about 30 minutes or so. About 30-40 minutes or so at the booth because we all had to pack up our things and get ready to go to the Doom Eternal presentation because we weren't going to miss that. And I was actually really, really lucky enough to actually tag along with the New Bloods and get some pretty good seats. So we, they were like, yeah, sure, come with us. So I went along with them. We went to the main, the ballroom where it was being held, and we sat down and we just waited for the presentation to start. And the hype in that room was palpable, man. It reminded me a lot of QuakeCon 2014 when I was watching the Doom reveal for the last Doom game. And it was just a lot of fun. I actually got to sit next to Andrew Schultz. For those of you who don't know, Andrew Schultz composes the music for Dusk, A Medieval, and now Quake Champions. He's a really, really cool dude. Freaking Andrew is amazing. He's a really cool dude, makes amazing music, and it was really nice to be able to sit next to him and kind of share the hype with him. And sitting on my left was my friend Jack, who showed up right before we were actually on our way to go to the presentation. And Jack is somebody I've talked to online and played with online, but I've never met him in real life. So it was really, really cool to not only meet him personally, but also to just experience QuakeCon with somebody who is, as big of a fan of Doom and Quake and, those games from id Software as much as I am. Because I've had friends go with me in the past, but they were kind of just there to tag along. They weren't as, they're not as big of a nerd as I am about these things. So it's kind of cool to walk around QuakeCon with him. I had a great time with him, and he really, really helped make QuakeCon even more special than it already would have been. So it was really great. I couldn't have asked for better people to experience the Doom presentation with. So now let's get into the presentation itself. Before Doom Eternal gameplay was shown, they had a lot of other stuff to talk about. They had Todd Howard come out there, which was super shocking. I did not expect him to come out there, and of course everyone screamed when he came on stage. And then they talked about some other games like Elder Scrolls Legends. They talked about Quake Champions, and they announced that it's going free to play. They talked about Rage 2 for a little bit and showed some new gameplay of that.
Welcome to the world of Rage 2, an unprecedented partnership in gaming. Rage 2 uses id Software's best-in-class first-person shooter mechanics with Avalanche Studios' mastery of open-world insanity.
Which looked pretty cool. Regardless, a lot of it was just filler, and of course we were all just like, get to Doom, get to Doom, get to Doom. And they eventually got there, and man, when Pete Hines introduced Marty Stratton and Hugo Martin, when they come up on stage, the energy in the room, man, oh my gosh, the excitement and the excitement for everybody in the room was just amazing. To hear everyone screaming and cheering, and for myself to be up there cheering as well. I mean, it was a lot of fun just to see them come on stage and to just know that we were all about to see something amazing. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to show almost everything I recorded from that presentation, because you can actually hear my reaction for a lot of the stuff that was shown, and I really like to actually share that because there's some funny moments. I really just want you guys to kind of experience it from my perspective, from a crowd perspective, because it really is special when you're actually there experiencing it live. It really doesn't compare to watching it, on YouTube. So if you don't want to watch this, because it is about like 8 minutes long, if you don't want to watch this, you can skip to the timestamp that is up on the screen right now. But otherwise, I'm just going to let this play, and I hope you enjoy.
I have experienced some great moments in the 10 years that I have been coming to QuakeCon. The first was in 2011. Marty Stratton and creative director Hugo Martin on Doom Eternal.
Yeah. Woo! You guys are unbelievable. It is awesome to be back here
Such a thrill. Thank you all for joining us. That's where it all starts for us. Killing badass demons with big guns in unbelievable places.
Absolutely, and as the Doomslayer, you want to feel unleashed, right? Like nothing is holding you back. To have a pure, unfiltered action FPS experience.
And to do that, we started with a very simple goal. Make him the strongest and most powerful hero we've ever created.
So as you can see, concept illustrations, he's had a bit of an update. A modification to his armor and some new tools and abilities that make him even more lethal.
Of course, nothing makes the Slayer more lethal than his guns. Like a ballista, a gun that can spear demons with an explosive bolt.
Oh, heck yeah.
The Slayer's own super shotgun.
That looks badass.
I love this. It's like his Excalibur, and you'll notice there's a little thing on the end there. We call it the meat hook, and you're gonna love what you can do with that thing. Whoa!
It's
Oh, dude!
But this is what's great. Everybody has a different favorite gun because each is a unique and powerful tool for killing the biggest and baddest demons you've ever seen.
That's right, because you know a hero is only as strong as the enemies he defeats. So if you want to feel like a badass, you got to wreck some amazing bad guys along the way. And Doom Eternal has some incredible enemies.
Oh my gosh, dude!
Twice as many as last time. These guys are insane.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
We've updated some favorites, reimagined some classics from Doom,
Woo!
like the Arachnotron, Pain Element.
Hell yeah! They're gonna be a
We
fan.
got some new bad guys we've destroyed too. Check out this
Whoa.
enemy Slayer.
What is that?
And how about this guy, the Marauder? You may
Whoa!
notice he kind of looks like the Slayer. That's pretty cool. What's the story behind that?
Oh, I like this.
You know, the coolest enemies deserve the coolest death. So we're spending more time and energy than ever before making sure it feels absolutely amazing every time you shoot, punch, kick, slash, or otherwise rip and tear one of the demons.
Actually, we've created like a whole system for this now, and internally we call it Destructible Demons.
Oh,
And you can see a lot of that.
dude. That's
All right.
so cool. Let's see it! Woo! Woo!
Yes, you're ready. All right. Well, you know what? I know the answer to the question, but you ready to see him in action?
Hell yeah! Oh, here we go. Oh, dude. Oh, dude. Oh, dude. Kick ass.
Please remain calm. You may notice a slight change in the environment. Fear not. It's all part of the plan.
Holy crap! Oh! Oh! Yeah! Oh yeah,
Yeah, that was an amazing presentation. If you could hear me, I was very, very excited. That whole presentation was amazing, and I cannot wait for Doom Eternal. Honestly, Doom 2016 doesn't even feel satisfying anymore after seeing the gameplay for Doom Eternal and seeing the way the meat hook works, everything. Oh man, I just love the visuals. I love the fact that they're going back to more classic things like the look of the health packs, the look of the imp and the mancubus. I just love it so much, and I cannot wait to play Doom Eternal. So after the Doom Eternal presentation, the New Bloods and I will head back to the New Blood booth in the expo hall. And one funny thing I need to mention is on the way there, we were going down an escalator, and right behind us on the escalator was none other than Todd Howard. And it was an extremely funny and awkward meeting because I leaned over to Jack, and I'm like, my friend Jack, I'm like, look man, don't look now, but Todd Howard's behind you. And he's like, what? And he looks behind him, and he's staring at us with like this death stare. It was the most intimidating thing ever. So we both shook his hand, said hi. And, I told him looking forward to Starfield and everything like that. And my friend Jack did end up getting a picture with him. I unfortunately did not get a picture with him because it was kind of a frantic situation, and I was trying to catch up with the New Bloods and stuff, so it just didn't work out. But it was a pretty funny meeting for sure, and it was nice to see him. So yeah, the New Bloods and I all got back to the New Blood booth, and I finished playing the available levels for Dusk Episode 3, and I had a lot of fun. And I unfortunately do not have footage to show of Episode 3. I did try to get footage, but it just didn't end up working out. However, I will have some footage that was shown at PAX a couple months back up on the screen. And yeah, I gotta say, Episode 3 is shaping up to be a great conclusion to a great game. Episode 3 has level design that is more open than the other episodes, in my opinion. It's not necessarily maze-like, but the best way I can describe it is that there's more to explore, there's more paths, and there's just a lot to explore. And I really like that because it makes the maps feel really open, and the maps also feel more vertical, which is great because Dusk has a lot of verticality, and the maps really accommodate it in that episode. I was just really impressed to see just how much variety is in Episode 3 and just how they're kind of just really just putting whatever they feel is fun into the game. That's always been New Blood's thing is, hey, if it's fun, put it in the game. Like there's one level where you're underwater. There's like an underwater section that isn't underwater at first. You're in this area, you go through it, you go to this one room, I think you press like a switch or something, you come back out and everything's underwater. I really like that. Kind of reminds me of the level in Episode 1, the Escher Labs, where you go in one room and you come back out and everything's like upside down and stuff. I like when levels are altered, where you backtrack, but the backtracking is worth it because it's almost like going into a whole new area. I just find that really, really cool. And an underwater level is something I never would have even thought of if I was working on Dusk. So I think it's really, really cool they did it, and it's a lot of fun. It fits, and I like it. So again, I can't say enough. Episode 3 is really, really fun. And just like Dusk Episode 2, what Dusk does really well is that it has good ambience. It can be a little creepy at times. It can kind of like jump scare you a couple times here and there. But it still has that fast-paced action. It has the great music by Andrew Huschault, which is excellent as always. So far everything about Episode 3 is positive in my opinion. The level design, the enemies, the music, everything is shaping up to be really, really great. And I can't wait for everybody to get their hands on the episode, and of course for me to finish the episode. So yeah, I can't wait, man. But yeah, talking about New Blood, guys, I cannot stress enough, and I cannot put into enough words how much I enjoyed myself at the New Blood booth. It was a wonderful experience to, not just play Dusk Episode 3 and not just play a Medieval Episode 5, which I did not play much of because I honestly sucked at it. But just being with the New Blood guys, being with Scott, being with Cameron, being with Dave Austry and David Smansky, just being able to hang out with them and talk to them and be around them, it was wonderful for me. It was great. They are very nice guys. They were very welcoming. They said very nice things, and I just can't stress enough how much it meant to me to be at their booth. It's one of those things you kind of have to experience to understand. Again, there are no words I can say to express how I felt. At the beginning of the video, I kind of said that QuakeCon was an experience I really needed to help me escape from reality. And I really mean that because New Blood and, not just at QuakeCon, but just in general, Dusk and Medieval and all the things they've done have really helped my life be better than it would have been otherwise. Because things have been pretty hard for me lately, and they've really helped me stay happy and they give me something to look forward to. And for that, I thank them so much, and I'm just so thankful I got to go there again and hang out at their booth and take all these awesome pictures and, you know, meet people for the first time and see people again like Cameron and Scott from last year. You know, I'm kind of rambling now, but point is, I had a great time at the New Blood booth, and I'm super thankful I got to hang out with them. And of course, before I left the New Blood booth, before I went and started doing other stuff, I made sure to buy the Dusk mouse mat with the Wendigos on it. This is something I mentioned in a previous video where I was talking about what I was excited for at QuakeCon this year, and man, I'm so happy to finally have it. This Dusk mouse mat is amazing. I've been using it for, you know, since I got it at QuakeCon, and it is awesome. Not only does it look cool, but it actually feels better. My mouse glides so smoothly on it. I have more room to move my mouse. I no longer have to adjust my mouse pad, which would constantly slip around. It's just so awesome to have a big piece of Dusk art on my desk that also serves a, you know, useful purpose. It's just really, really cool. I love this thing. I'm such a fanboy about this mouse mat, but yeah, I was super happy to get one of those. So yeah, I spent most of my time at the New Blood booth, but when I wasn't at the New Blood booth, I was just walking around the expo hall, just trying to do as much as I can. I got to take a picture in front of the Archvile statue, the Flame Boy that was at the front of the expo hall. It was super cool to see that thing. It's huge and it looks awesome, and I hope that they make a miniaturized version of that for the collector's edition or something when Doom Eternal comes out. So that was really cool to see that. I ran into G-Man. Triple G Man Lives from YouTube. I was trying to look for my friend Jack, and I saw he was with GG Man, so I was like, oh, cool. So I went up to him, and we just kind of, you know, we're talking. We talked about games, and he told us about his experience at QuakeCon, how much he's been loving it and everything. It was just super cool to, you know, meet him, because I'm a big fan of his videos, and it was really, really cool to talk to him. And for those of you who don't know who he is, he makes videos on YouTube under the name Triple G Man Lives, 3 G's and Man Lives, and he makes a lot of videos on old school FPS games and FPS games in general. And he was flown by Bethesda all the way down from Australia to QuakeCon, and he seemed to enjoy himself. So it was really cool that he was having a good time. It was his first QuakeCon, and it was really cool to talk to him and to meet him. And one thing I have to mention is that I made a tweet after QuakeCon was over talking about how this photo of me and him looks really funny because it looks like we're like about to drop the hottest mixtape of 2018. And someone who works for, I think it's Maestro Gaming, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but regardless, there's an esports team, and someone from that esports team photoshopped this picture right here. It looks like an album cover, and it says Party Breakers on it, which is a reference to Quake Champions, and I just find that absolutely amusing. I think one thing that surprised me, but also made me pretty happy, was just how many people I ran into from previous QuakeCons and people I've known online. For example, I ran into a really cool cosplayer I've known online for a while named Harley Pan, and she did a really, really cool Possessed Engineer cosplay at QuakeCon 2016 after one of the Doom panels, so that was really cool to see her again this year. I also ran into Nemesis, who won the Beat the Dev session of Duskworld that they did last year at QuakeCon at the New Blood booth. I also ran into a guy named Master Turkey, who's a really cool guy I was talking to online before QuakeCon, so it was really, really cool to see him. And just in general, it was really, really cool to see all kinds of new people as well as familiar faces and just kind of chat with them. It was a really, really fun experience. Right near the New Blood booth, there was the Modders Inc. booth, who does case mods, and they had two that I thought were really cool. There's this one, which is by far the best one, which is, if you don't know, this is the opening level, the difficulty selection level for Quake. Really, really cool looking computer. And there's another one which is a fairly basic modification, but a very nice subtle one, which is an Evil Within one, where there's a custom water loop, and it looks like blood, and then it has the Evil Within logo on the side panel. I thought that looked really, really cool. There was actually a fan art contest going on this year at QuakeCon, and there were two pieces of art in particular I really liked. There's this one, which is the eyeball from the map Ruins of Sarnath from Quake Champions. I thought it was nice and cute. And then there was the this right here, this piece of art from an artist known as Zaus54, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, on Twitter and Instagram. And Zaus54 is someone I've followed for quite a while now because he does amazing artwork, fan art for Doom and Quake. And he entered in the competition and won, and dude, it's totally deserved because it's amazing art. And I was actually really lucky enough to actually meet him in person. In fact, when I first talked to him, it was actually right before I went to the expo hall because I told him on Twitter that I was waiting in line. We briefly talked then. But then we talked again outside the BYOC, and I just told him, how great his art was and everything like that. And I was actually lucky enough to get one of his prints. I actually got one of his art prints, this one right here, of the Doomslayer holding Daisy the rabbit. And yeah, I am so happy I have this piece of art because, man, his art is amazing, and I would love to have all of it on my wall because it's just great. So yeah, I was super happy that he won. I'm super happy that I got to meet him, and he definitely has a bright future ahead of him. On the expo floor, they actually had Quake Champions playable, so me and my friend Jack decided to just play a match or so. So we got in line, and we played some Quake Champions together, and it was actually really, really cool because before QuakeCon, me and Jack played Quake Champions, online, but we had never played in person before. So it was kind of cool to be playing Quake Champions with him, but actually be sitting next to him. It was, I don't know, there's something about that I thought was really nice, and it was really cool because after we played, which surprisingly we actually did pretty well in that match, we won. We got a little card that had a code on it that gave you like XP boosts and stuff like that. But we also got a poster, which I actually have on the screen right now. It's a Knicks poster, and right now it's up on my wall, and it's a really, really cool poster. I'm so happy that they actually gave out posters because I need new posters, and I'm really happy I got this one. And finally, one of the last things that we did before we left for the day was we went to a autograph signing, a meet and greet as they called it, at QuakeCon, where they had some developers from id Software, sitting at a table, and you could go down the table and talk to them and kind of just chat with them and ask them questions. And they also at the end of that would give you this right here, this awesome piece of art, which is the cover art for Doom 2016, with autographs on it. And this is just really, really cool. It was cool to talk to them and obviously get this piece of art. So that was really, really nice. So yeah, that was pretty much it. After all that, we just kind of walked around a little bit more, just looked around at some stuff. At one point, I actually tagged along with my friend Jack so we can go to his hotel and check in for him. That was a lot of fun because we got to take a shuttle, and we got to ride that shuttle back and forth. And it was funny because there was like some pretty strange people on there saying some weird stuff. There was one guy speaking like a Russian accent, saying like "Come on, comrades," and just being silly. It was just a fun little adventure, I guess. But yeah, after that, the day was over, and man, the first day of QuakeCon was amazing. It was such a fun time, as you can see. We did so much, and what was so great is that even though it was over, we knew that there was another day ahead of us, and we all could not wait. So, day 2 of QuakeCon. One thing I knew for sure I wanted to do at QuakeCon this year was participate in the Beat the Dev session of Duskworld, because that was something the New Bloods did last year that I did not get a chance to participate in. So I for sure want to do it this year. But unfortunately, I had to wait for Dave Austri to get to the booth. So when I got there, I kind of just waited around a little bit just to see when he'd show up. But we pretty much didn't think he'd show up anytime soon. So I was like, all right, I'll just walk around. So one of the first things I did with my friend Jack was we went to an Encore presentation of the Doom Eternal gameplay reveal. Essentially, it was the exact same thing they did the day before, where they had Marty Stratton and Hugo Martin come up on stage and say the exact same things they said, the first day. And essentially, it was the exact same presentation, just being shown for people who maybe did not see it the day before. And I decided to go to it because, hey, why not? Why not experience it again with the amazing sound of that room? So yeah, after that, we went back to the expo hall, and Dave was, of course, still not at the booth. So what I did after that was I signed up to play Rage 2. And I'm going to talk about Rage 2 now. So I played Rage 2 briefly. I played it for about, I want to say, 10 to 15 minutes. Though, to be honest, it felt like it was a lot shorter than that. And to be honest, I really don't want to even give a true impression yet, because I really don't know how I feel about it. Because I feel like Rage 2 is a game where I'm going to need to spend a lot more time with it to gain a true impression of how I feel about it. But in short, I will say that it doesn't feel bad, but it doesn't feel as solid as I hoped. And that could be due to a variety of factors. Again, like I said, I think I just need to play it more and get a better feel of the open world, because the section of the game I was playing was a more closed-off mission. Another thing, too, is that the graphics aren't as good as I thought they were either. And it was running on PC. I'm not exactly sure what kind of settings it was on. And again, this is pre-release stuff, so I don't know how it will look maxed out on PC and console and whatnot. But the graphics definitely were a lot. They're very underwhelming, I guess is what I can say. But the guns feel solid. The wing stick is fun to use. Some of the abilities are fun, even though they kind of feel a bit clunky because I wasn't used to the controls. Again, like I said, if I had more time with the game, if I had more time to get accustomed to the control scheme and more time to kind of explore the open world and really get a feel of the game, I think my impressions would be more positive, but with just the 15 minutes or so I had to play the game, I can say that I'm not entirely sold on the game yet. It has promise, but I'm not entirely sold on it, and I'm a tad bit worried, but hey, we'll see what happens when the game finally launches. So yeah, after I played Rage 2, I kind of just walked around looking for other stuff to do, and while I was doing that, I actually ran into Tim Willits, which was really cool. It was really cool to meet him again, to talk to him again, and take a picture with him. I also ran into Mark Diaz, who's a super awesome programmer from id Software, who's worked on Doom 2016 and Doom VFR, and some other projects. And he's a really, really cool dude who I've met at previous QuakeCons, and I've also talked to online for a couple years. And he's a really, really cool dude, and it was really, really awesome to see him again this year. I think without a doubt, one of the biggest highlights of the second day at QuakeCon was going to the Doom Eternal panel with my friend Jack that was held there that day. And it was a panel that featured Marty Stratton, Hugo Martin, and Jason Levi, I'm not sure how you pronounce it exactly, but he's the community manager at Bethesda. And it was basically just the three of them sitting at a table just kind of talking about Doom Eternal and some other development processes, and just kind of giving us a little insight into the development process of the game and showing us a little bit of tidbits. Nothing too major was shown. Obviously, they weren't going to spoil anything. Most of the stuff they talked about was stuff that was shown in the demo. It was just kind of them going more in depth and talking about the development process. But regardless, it was a really, really fun panel. I hope that it gets released online at some point because it was a fun thing to watch. But regardless, it was a really good panel. It was fun to just kind of sit there and hear more about Doom Eternal and to hear how excited Hugo and Marty are about the release of the game and just how passionate they are as developers. It was a really, really fun panel to go to.
But it wasn't our team building it. Where this, this is how you will see that is the helmet in game, and that's rendering in the engine, and so when that happens, it's all hands on deck, and everybody puts every ounce of passion they have into it.
And the last big highlight of the entire QuakeCon experience for me personally was participating in one of the Beat the Dev sessions of Duskworld at the New Blood booth. That was a lot of fun, although quite stressful, because what Dave Oshry decided at the last minute was that how it would work is you would put $5 down, and if you won, you would get a free t-shirt and have your money doubled, but if you lost, then you would just get a 15% off discount on one of their merch items they were selling. And I wasn't too fond of the idea, but I'm like, you know what? I'm confident. I'm going to do this. So I sat down, I played around at Duskworld with Cameron, and I actually ended up winning. And boy, it was I was worried because I had money on the line, but I did really, really well. It was a lot of fun, and I did win a free shirt and some money, so hey, that's pretty awesome, right? And of course, it would not be QuakeCon without some awesome merch and swag. So here is everything that I ended up acquiring at QuakeCon this year. Pretty good haul, if I do say so myself. I got some awesome stuff. I, of course, got the Dusk mouse mat. I got a Quake Champions poster. I got a Rage 2 keychain with a spinning wing stick on it. I got, of course, the Doom photo that got autographed from some of the Doom developers at the meet and greet, as well as I also have a Quake Champions one that I got signed at a Quake Champions meet and greet. It had some developers doing a signing. Yeah, I just got a lot of cool stuff, and I'm really thankful for all the cool stuff I got to get. That is always one of the cool things about QuakeCon, is just being able to get all the awesome free stuff. I think that's definitely something people look forward to every year. So yeah, on the third day, I didn't really do that much because, like I said, I only had about an hour there. However, before I left, I did get a cool sort of 3D photograph with Andrew Hischult. So that was really, really cool. He's such an awesome guy. And after that, I pretty much just said bye to the New Bloods and said bye to everybody. And it was pretty sad for me and pretty emotional, actually, because QuakeCon in general is such an awesome event and such an awesome experience that I look forward to every year. And knowing that I was about to leave it and not go to it again till the year after, it was sad. It was emotional for me, and it really is one of those things that you have to kind of understand by going. Like, you really can't. To understand what QuakeCon means to people, you kind of have to experience it for yourself. You really do. But I mean, yeah, I said bye to all the New Bloods. I took some pictures with some of the guys from New Blood I didn't get a picture with on the previous days, such as Roselix, who makes some of the Duskworld maps, and then Lane, who helps run the Discord. So that was really nice to get those pictures. And yeah, after that, I just walked back to the front of the Gaylord. And I took one last look behind me, and I just kind of, just left and knew that I was going to be back for another year. And like I said earlier, it was sad, but, there is going to be more QuakeCons, and honestly, I really can't wait. So I just want to say thank you guys for watching this video, if you're still watching it, that is. Thank you so much for watching this video. There is so much I could talk about QuakeCon, and I did try to hit on as much as I can in this video, but man, there's a lot I could talk about, and if I wanted to talk about every single thing in detail, this video would be extremely long, and it already is long enough. So I'm going to end things now, but thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. QuakeCon 2019 will be upon us before we know it, and you know, it's going to be even better probably, and I'm going to be making even more wonderful memories. So it's sad that QuakeCon 2018 is over, but before we know it, we'll all be at QuakeCon 2019. So here's to another wonderful QuakeCon. See you guys next year.